Wheel of SNES, Season 5, Episode 4, which is the total episode of
54.
Yes, that is much harder than you would think to remember that, at least for me.
No, it's not.
Maybe not, but it is for me. So, we went back-to-back beat-em-ups, Josh.
We did.
This week we've got Venom and Spider-Man, Separation Anxiety. That is, I guess we can go a little bit more into the stuff here in a second, but I want to read the back of the box for us, Joshua.
All right.
It says, it's got at the top, Marvel Comics, trademark.
Yep.
Venom, trademark. Little circle thing here, Spider-Man, trademark. Separation Anxiety, trademark.
Wait.
It literally is.
Did they have a comic book series called
Well, we will come back to that. There is. But it's not what you would think.
Okay, but I say, because I collect comics, so...
Parting is such sweet sorrow. Venom has been violently split from his living costume, spawning 5 deadly alien symbiotes. In fierce two-player action, Venom joins his forces with arch-enemy, Spider-Man, to face the new strain of evil brought to life by chilling computer-rendered graphics. Between the merciless jury and awesome allies like Ghost Rider and Daredevil, Venom's out to part his symbiote offspring from their newfound life. So, yeah, that's that.
Solid.
So, this game, Joshua, is developed by Software Creations, which has also been a game Software Creations did a game that we've played.
The other Spider-Man game.
No, and ironically, it's not that. I'll go ahead and say this is a massive step up from the last game. The last game was a sports game.
Roger Clemens.
No.
Hit the ice.
It was a boxing game.
Foreman for real?
Foreman for real. They did Foreman for real.
The next one I was going to say was Digging Spot Volleyball.
Published by Acclaim, LJN, whatever you want to call it. Was released on 3 different systems. Super Nintendo, Genesis, and strangely enough, I would think that you're going to go with like a Game Boy or Game Gear port. PC.
PC, okay.
So,
I was going to say Commodore for be way out there, but...
Released on November 95. In November, not on November. North America. To beat 'em up. Basically, side-scrolling, just like what we played back-to-back times.
Yep.
And instead of last week where we were street fighting with Guy and Hager, we are Spider-Man and Venom.
Street fighting with Spider-Man and Venom.
That is exactly it. So this is actually a sequel to Maximum Carnage, which is weird because this game feels a little older. Like
it does not feel like a sequel. It feels like a prequel.
So that part is kind of strange. I'm going to pull this up here.
Which honestly should have happened because Carnage is Venom's offspring, technically. So
the plot of this, as best as I can explain it. So like it says, is the Venom movie, the second one, is it called Separation Anxiety with...
No.
What is it called?
Maximum. Spider-Man, Venom 2... I want to say it was called Maximum... Let There Be Carnage.
Let There Be Carnage. So, to me, this video game is kind of essentially this movie. I think Maximum Carnage is exactly it. And then, like, with the other symbiotes and all that, like, that is... Or is that in the first one where they got the symbiotes?
They have symbiotes in both of them.
Okay. Well, so basically...
Just in the first one, you have Riot, which is the head honcho of the symbiotes.
Uh-huh.
And in the second one, you have Scream and Carnage, which is both an offspring of Venom.
So, the game itself is Venom and Spider-Man trying to take care of the symbiotes. They're going to try to kill them, and there's a couple of other enemies splashed in there. I think, who's the Carnage looking with the long hair? Is that Scream or something like that?
Scream.
So you got a lot of the usual suspects, and hey, I'll tell you at the time, and I'm not a comic book dude, but at the time I knew who Spider-Man was, and then probably from the Spider-Man cartoon I knew who Venom was, and then you get this Carnage-looking motherfucker, and you're like, what the hell is this? And it's interesting, so they just keep, you see the cover, and it's got all these symbiotes in the background. It's intriguing, and they all kind of look Spider-esque,
Carnage is 100% the best Marvel villain, I think, and... See, and that's also the thing. They made the symbiotes look spider-ish.
It's like if Spider-Man and Venom had a love child. That's like what they would look like.
All the symbiotes are connected by a hive mind. So once one symbiote knows something, they all know something. And the Venom symbiote originally attached to Spider-Man, which is why they all look Spider-Man-ish.
Okay. Well, I'm glad. I know that you're going to have a lot more comic book lore in this than me. So the whole game, I guess, even though it's titled Separation Anxiety, and there is a series in Venom that is Separation Anxiety. So there is its own series there, or its own arc, whatever you want to call it.
It depends on who wrote it and everything like that.
But it does not follow the Separation Anxiety storyline. Now, this is just the stuff that I've read online because I don't know shit about it. It says it actually follows the Venom's Lethal Protector series. So, and I've got some reasons there. We can come to it at the end of it, or I can run down them now, however you want to do it.
Okay, I mean, that's one thing, is I collect comic books. I'm just recently getting into Venom ever since... the Kingdom Black showed up, the Null series. So I'm going back and I'm trying to find some of the old Venom, and I have not touched either one of these. I got Agent Venom, which is kind of cool.
Well, and in here, just the Lethal Protector series, they say it says it's Venom's first limited series. So I don't know how old this is, but it says, it follows it more along the line because, in Lethal Protector 1, you had Spider-Man, which they have here. Digger was in Lethal Protector number 1. Underground City, Jury was in number 2. And then they talk about the Life Foundation and the 5 symbiotes all through this Lethal Protector series. It says up to number 5. I don't know if it was just like a 5-part book or not, but I figured that would matter more to you and anybody else that likes comics more than it does me.
I know the Life Foundation is really big, and I'm curious, I didn't beat the game.
I did not either.
I'm curious which all the symbiotes are.
And just so you know, too, when I'm doing some research on this and I Google separation anxiety, I can tell you a lot of the causes and cures and symptoms of separation anxiety. I found if I did not put SNES after it, there are a lot of people with separation anxiety.
There's probably a lot of animals with separation anxiety.
So, I knew immediately if I was where I needed to be to find some information or if I did not type it correctly.
That's funny.
All right, so so you're Spider-Man and Venom, enemies, but
frenemies.
Yeah. What is it? The enemy of my enemy is my friend, or something like that. So basically, they unite to go take down these symbiotes and all that stuff. So, and I'm gonna guess that no, even in some of the movies and stuff like that, that even though they have probably 100 comic books of Venom and Spider-Man fighting each other, there is somewhat of a respect or camaraderie between them. I ain't going to say that one of them ain't going to kill one or the other, but they're not going to do it cheesy,
Yeah, I got the Amazing Spider-Man Venom team up to take out the first appearance of Carnage, Maximum Carnage. That's the first appearance of Carnage.
Hey.
It's worth a lot of money.
Venom is Eddie Brock, right?
Yes.
Look, that is the most knowledge I've got right
that's
here.
The most common Venom. The other one is Flash Gordon.
And Tom Hardy.
Well, I mean,
I'm fucking with you.
Yeah, that's Tom Hardy.
Okay. Is there anything that left into the build-up of this you want to do, or do you actually want to talk about an actual Super Nintendo game, Josh?
Let's do Super Nintendo.
Okay. We're going to break it into, jump into Make It. Let me see where I really want to go here. My first thing, and it's petty, is,
How is it petty on the Make It?
well, it's because I appreciate pettiness.
That's true.
Hey, it's kind of like in Talladega Nights when Ricky Bobby, when he says, when I'm going to win, and I forget John C. Reilly's
Character.
Yeah, and he's like, well, how are you going to, I'm going to win. If you win it,
Yeah.
And so everybody, it's always Spider-Man this, and it's always Spider-Man that. So the first thing I got in here is I do like that the game is actually called Venom/Spider-Man Separation Anxiety. And to be honest, I think it is a fucking video game because they're trying to kill basically his offspring or his brood. So yeah, Spider-Man's there. Spider-Man gets all the damn love. Tobey Maguire got 3 fucking Spider-Man movies. Like
Tom Holland got 3.
Yeah, and I mean, Spider-Man movies is the fucking same. They reboot it, and Tom Holland has actually been really good for it. But it's like, seems like every couple of years we just get a new movie, and then you want to just talk about goddamn Green Goblin. It's like, I'm over Green Goblin or Hobgoblin.
And find out how Uncle Ben died.
Oh, yeah, Jesus Christ. That dude.
It's like Batman.
There ain't no part of the multiverse that he's ever survived in. He's always died.
Actually, there is, and it's Aunt May that dies in one of them.
I don't believe none of the shit.
That's in Spider-Gwen.
So,
it's not even Toby, it's not even Spider-Man, it's Spider-Gwen. Or Spider-Woman.
So even though it's a Spider-Man game, I think anybody would look at this and you say, hey man, how many Spider-Man games are there for the Super Nintendo? And you go, oh, well, there's like 3 or 4 of them. I don't think anybody would be like, no, there's 3 Spider-Man games and one Venom game. Nobody's going to say that. It's still going to be grouped as a Spider-Man game because you get to play as Spider-Man in it.
He is a choice.
But I do believe that it is Venom's game because of the setup and the story.
Yeah, you are taking on his offspring or his, like you said, his brood.
So, and I feel like this is Venom's arc, and Spider-Man's just riding the coattails trying to help out. He is the sidekick in this, in my opinion. And
I agree with that.
So I do appreciate the name of it, first of all.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I feel kind of strongly about it for comic books that I don't read, you know.
Because Spider-Man does fight some of Venom's symbiote brood, but primarily it's Venom fighting his own brood and offspring and symbiotes themselves.
Okay, I got in here too. Starting it up, the music was okay.
I liked it. I mean,
it never write home about, but it's kind of what you expect.
Yeah, it's exactly what you expect for a Venom Spider-Man team up.
I probably liked the music in the other Spider-Man game a little better from what I remember, just because it had like
the animation,
the electronic, the Spider-Man. It was a little bit more to it. But once again, I guess it's not necessarily a Spider-Man game. So, well, and this is probably one of the biggest make-its, even though I feel like we have to address it at the start, is it's multiplayer.
Yep.
And so you can literally couch co-op this.
You can.
And that's the one thing that Maximum Carnage didn't do. And not only is it multiplayer, but you get to pick who you want. So if you're like, hey, I don't like Venom, I want to play as Spidey. You can play as Spidey, or you can play as Venom. Or, if you're playing 2 players, you can argue over who gets to be Venom. I feel like you got to play as Venom, right?
I would.
There is 100 games, even to this day, that you get to play as Spider-Man. And don't get me wrong, the Spider-Man games nowadays are awesome.
They are amazing.
And to me, I just rather
sometimes
spice it up.
Sometimes you gotta be Luigi.
That's it.
Sometimes you gotta be Luigi, man.
I like that. And going on the multiplayer, there's boxes there. I feel like in here there's just a lot of boxes to check. So one of the things that they do is stuff you would expect. You play a Spider-Man game, what do you want to be able to do?
You gotta be able to swing some webs.
Swing some webs, or climb a damn wall, or shoot some web juice.
Web juice?
What are they? damn spiderweb balls, the spotty balls, the webs,
the Spider-Man is just web.
the things that come from his wrist.
Yeah, they're just webbing.
Okay. Spider spooge.
Spider spooge, why not? And Venom actually doesn't use webbing because he is literally extending the symbiote, and they call them tendrils.
Regardless if you're Venom or Spider-Man, if you're sitting over as an innocent bystander, I'm like, hey Josh, think fast, and I spooge you out of my wrist or a web slinger, and they hit you in the face, are you gonna be pissed off? Because that's fucking gross. I'm just saying, I don't want no white substance shooting at my face, especially if I'm not ready for it. Not even if I am ready for it, you know. I feel like that's very rude.
It's very rude.
And it's almost worse. I thought it was Spider-Man's would be worse, but that's like them getting that's almost like a wet willy from Venom if it's like his tentadrill or whatever.
It's his
I feel like it's that thing that goddamn Krang has in the Turtles, like his little arms or whatever.
Pretty much, but yeah, it's tendrils, and what it is, it's just his symbiote stretching out and grabbing. He doesn't actually shoot webbing.
So I feel like in the big scheme of this game, you're like, let's put as much Marvel shit as we can in here. We've got a couple of references to Captain America and all that, check.
Yep.
We've got Spider-Man and Venom. You can be either one, check. You can swing and shoot webs, check.
Yep.
Essentially,
you can wall climb, check.
And so, I mean, I do feel like this is like a cookie cutter, and I guess this is probably more Break It than anything. But I feel like there's a cookie cutter template to this game that they start checking off.
Yeah. I agree with that. Because I don't want to dive into Maximum Carnage, because I did own that video game. I loved it. It's one of my favorites. And they copied Maximum Carnage to a point, but they also failed in copying Maximum Carnage. It seems like they try to get a little fancy with it, to me, with the 2-player. Or maybe that's just all the memory that the game had at the time.
Now, I remember having fond memories of Maximum Carnage, but I haven't played it in several years, so it's hard for me to judge. But I do.
See, same here. So it's been, well, for me, it's been probably about 6 years since I played it.
So one thing with the controls of it, too, I guess, going back into it, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. You come through the start screen, it's 1-player, 2-player, password.
Yep.
So then you pick your player, and then you go. So there ain't a whole lot of thinking about it. You just kind of get going. So I'm sitting there. Of course, first thing is it does give you a few seconds there where you're just by yourself and you're hitting the buttons.
Yeah, hit the buttons. Figure out what they do. We don't got the manual.
And the controls were fine. I wasn't raving over them, but they weren't bad.
They were normal controls to me.
I will tell you, for me personally, low key, my favorite move, I even made a note of it here, is the shoulder attack.
With Venom?
It's Spider-Man or Venom, like where they just kind of run and shoulder him.
I use it a lot with Venom.
So that was, to me, the best. That was my favorite attack. I mean, yeah, I love swinging walls, and I didn't swing, and I get the shit kicked out of me. I try shooting fucking web, get the shit kicked out of me. So I was just kind of like in Hitch. I just stand right here.
Stay right here in your middle.
Yes, that is it.
No, you shoulder charge and just spam the attack button.
I've only got a few more things. One thing that I do like, that I feel like should be a staple in beat 'em ups. Wasn't the best that I've seen, because I think it's Double Dragon where you get the thumb, but I do like the fucking arrows popping up when you clear an area.
Yeah.
That to me is very nostalgic, whether it's Turtles the arcade game. I think theirs is an arrow. I think Double Dragon's the thumb. I can't remember all of them. Don't quote me on it. But you do get an arrow, and even though it wasn't the greatest arrow, it's like, oh, yep, cleared this area. Let's keep on moving. I did like that.
I like, honestly, stage design. For me. It wasn't nothing to rave home about.
Yeah. But
you could use it. You could scale the wall to get a little bit of freedom. There was health up there, too. So I enjoyed that.
I've got two more things here, and probably, a pretty weak make it that I have for it is it scratches the itch if you're wanting to play a beat 'em up game.
Yeah, it scratches the itch for a beat 'em up, but it fully scratches the itch for a Spider-Man Venom game.
Right.
Because playing Spider-Man the animated series did not.
Yeah, that was bad.
That did not scratch the itch for a Spider-Man game.
So, one thing we said when Fifel, the worst thing that happened to Fifel is we played Mickey and Minnie before it. I would not say that the worst thing that it didn't help. It wasn't the worst thing that happened was we played Final Fight, literally the last episode before we played this. I do feel like I would grade it higher. Spoiler alert, I guess, on how I feel about it. But it wasn't detrimental. But if this was our first beat 'em up game this season, or that we've had in a while, like Final Fight was, I'd probably be a little higher on it.
Yeah.
But you can tell we're kind of. I feel like the games were made at the same time. I guess I'll say that to the break it because I guess that's dogging it there. But it is what you expect with the beat 'em up. You go around kicking the shit out of stuff. Might not be the best beat 'em up, but there's definitely
there's better ones out
there. But like I say, I feel like you checked enough boxes than not to make the beat 'em up. And I've only got one more thing. Do you have anything else left on your heart, Joshua?
No, because my final thing was I enjoyed the stage design. I thought it was pretty decent. I liked how you could go up, down. You could use all the axes of the stage. I only managed to make it to like 3 stages.
I thought the game was unusually tough.
It was very tough, and that was honestly that's still part of my break it part. Well, not break it, but my make it part is I enjoy a get good game, but I feel like it feels like this is a necessary 2-player game to me.
It'd definitely be more fun as a 2-player.
I think it'd be easier as a 2-player game.
I guess one thing,
and that is my switch from make it to break it.
I guess one thing I should throw in there too. Like I say, this game was made later than Final Fight. They solved, I think, the 3 enemy issue that Final Fight had. So so I guess you got to kind of give it props where it's at there.
Yeah.
And the last thing that I have that kind of makes me feel like it's a classic 90s Super Nintendo game is you got your stage select, but you also got cheat codes. So even though I didn't play with the cheat codes, because to be honest, I get the game wasn't fun enough to want to do that. Your cheat codes gave you infinite lives, which would be a freaking must for me.
Yeah.
Hard mode. And
absolutely.
I think there was some... Dude, I'm just going to tell you, spoiler alert, speedruns, there is a fucking boss on speedruns.
Okay.
Hailing from Brazil.
Okay.
That is the god of this game. So they do have, there's literally 15 fucking speedruns. I wouldn't say that. I guess there's probably 8 speedruns.
Yeah.
So you'll crack up with some of the categories of speedrun.
Okay.
But, you had one where I think it was extra power to your attacks. But, in classic 90s, if you're going to make a hard-ass game, like True Lies and Terminator and all that, then yeah.
You got to have some type of cheat.
Yeah. And that was, I'm going to say it's par for the course in the 90s, but at least you got that option.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm with you. That's enough for me to come down in to break it.
Yeah.
First thing I got my beef with on breaking it is, I'm okay with the story, but here's my problem. You get the picture, and then you got to read a whole fucking page of shit.
Yep.
And I'm not a fan of that. But then, even at the start of the game, when it's ramping up this story, it's I felt like I read 3 pages of shit just so they could use the words as it pops up. Separation anxiety.
Yeah.
You could have just said that, dude. I didn't need to fucking get
I
to...
I didn't need this light novel.
Now, I guess in the defense of it, that, the internet was non-existent in this area at that time. It was 1999 before I was able to get dial-up internet over here in 98. So, I guess you've got to try to tell the story a little bit, but I just felt like it was kind of cheese trying to get to the part just to use the words, and I'm like, you could have just did without that. Plus, the story is like, okay, we're in '95. Look at the way Final Fight did it. It was reading there, but it was short, sweet, to the point. Yeah. It felt like it was a little bloated.
It felt a little lengthy for this. Like I said, you could have summed it up probably in maybe 2 paragraphs.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like even if you're going to give me no animations and just storyboard pictures, that you could give me a bigger picture with a little bit more detail and like 2 or 3 sentences under.
Yeah.
Then give me another picture. I mean, you could even, you could have made it, 2 paragraphs, but break it up into a couple sentences here and there.
Yeah.
Give me some eye candy to look at.
Yeah.
Give me a picture of what a symbiote looks like.
Yeah. Don't give me a blank screen with, what was it, yellow wording, I think? Or was it white?
I can't remember, but it was generic.
Yeah, it was generic
That
as
font,
shit.
yeah, it wasn't good. So another thing I got in here is the enemies didn't look that bad until you started looking at them.
Yeah.
And I thought the enemies looked very generic, like you could have took them out of... Even though I know a lot of them probably came from Maximum Carnage. If you inserted these sprites into Final Fight, okay, yeah, it looked like
thug. They're henchmen.
Yes.
They're the straight thug henchmen.
It's like, hey, we've got some random, and I'm not as big a fan of the levels. The levels were okay; they seemed to match. There was a jungle level that was weird that I didn't like. I don't know. I probably didn't even like the level designs now I think about it. But I feel like you could have said, hey, we've got
it wasn't
a random
jungle level, dude. It was Madison Square Garden.
No.
Grand Central Park.
Well, to me, it's damn jungle. That's what it looked like.
You're in New York.
It reminded me. It reminded me of going through damn Ovidus. That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, no, dude. Spider-Man is on Manhattan Island.
Same thing. But I don't even like the level design. But then when you start looking at Spider-Man and Venom, they didn't look right either.
They didn't.
I mean, now mind you, it probably looked better than the other Spider-Man game that we played because he looked a little Spooderman-ish on that as well.
He did look Spooderman-ish.
And this was better than that, but it was like,
we tore apart the way he moved in that one too.
Oh yeah, he did move weird. I remember, and I think he had some cake back there.
That
booty.
He was walking a little snakish, like.
Don't catch me.
Yeah, it was weird. I didn't like the way he moved.
But yeah, I'm just like, man, this is like the face of your game, and they look okay. I mean, you get the point, but
Venom's tongue was terrible.
Yeah, it didn't look great. So that part was me. I felt like you could have just said, we have this project that got scrapped last year. We got some sprites and a little bit of level design. You guys want to just upload a character into it and make it your own game? Yeah, that'll work. I kind of felt like that happened on it.
It felt very second-handish.
Yeah, and then on top of that, well, I don't really know where I want to go here. On top of that, I guess, the bosses weren't really fun, which, okay, this may be Venom shit here too, and I beat up on saying Spider-Man's got 15 movies about fighting Green Goblin, for God's sake. It's kind of like goddamn Batman, Hey, I get it. We got the fucking Joker here, but let's get some more shit in here too.
Yeah, let's change it up.
I've watched this movie before, 16 times it seems like. So the bosses were kind of not fun, and I guess the fighting in general wasn't really fun for me.
Yeah.
And the other part of it is, okay, so if you ask me who's characters in a Venom comic book, I would imagine that you've got tie-ins to Spider-Man and Carnage, because that's what I know.
Yep.
Now, who is Venom's arch enemy other than Spider-Man? Like, is not no. Well, I guess if you're like, okay, after that, who's Venom? Hey, I don't fucking know. But
Riot,
for God's sake, you give us enemies like Digger, the Jury. I don't know who the fuck any of these guys are. I'm like, you're making shit up. Apparently, they're not. But
no.
like, oh god, Digger's gotta dig him a fucking hole. I mean, what are you gonna do as a digger? Are you just gonna like try to dig into a tunnel? Is that what you're doing? You're tunneling into a bank vault?
No.
What does Digger do? Digger does what Digger does.
You got me cracking up at that.
What's he gonna do? Just dig a fucking hole? Is he gonna dig a swimming pool? I don't know what the fuck he does. He looked retarded in here.
He was, but no, Digger.
What the fuck is Jury?
Digger is. I'm trying to think of a comparison. Think of him sort of like Swamp Thing type deal.
What's his motivation?
He's an undead ghoul, pretty much.
Okay. Was it like a mining accident or something?
No, he was a grave digger.
Okay, well, you know what I don't care about Digger? Shit. You know, like, horrible fucking boss. Jury, that is the most generic fucking name I've ever heard.
Yeah, the Jury.
Yeah, not a fan of it. And
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? And you know, while we're here, you know what else sucked? The people that were cool, like Captain America and Hawkeye and all that. Dude, I'm going to tell you, I was over the fucking sprites. When goddamn Captain America comes out and slings his shield, which did a massive amount of fucking damage, and then fucking poses, and I'm like, that is the stupidest shit I've ever seen in my life. Like,
that's America's ass, sir. You appreciate it.
No, that America's petard right there. Like, he looked horrible in there, and it pissed me off.
He did look really bad.
I was, I don't know. The sprites and the gameplay itself sucked.
Yeah.
Fighting wasn't fun, and it's a game. It wasn't very fun. I ain't gonna say it wasn't fun.
It was mediocre.
Like I say, it scratched an itch, but it's like
it was mediocre.
You're in a fucking beat 'em up. I can deal with bad sprites and dated shit as long as you have a good fighting mechanism. So I mean, the controls were okay. Just the fights wasn't fun.
Yeah.
And
my thing, this is my biggest break. It was a sequel. It should have went up. It went down. You always want to progress.
It looked older than Maximum Carnage.
It did. It looked worse.
This looked like the game that would have went between the one that we played, the animated series one, and this. It feels like that would have went in between.
Yeah. Like I said, this is honestly, like I said, it's supposed to be a sequel. And it felt like a prequel.
I'm going to go ahead and beat up a little bit more on the fucking gameplay. I don't like having goddamn enemies that can jump, it seems like, the whole damn screen and kick shit out of me. Like, I'm getting hit. Like, these motherfuckers coming. I didn't like any of the fighting. No, I get it. You know, you try to get them all on one side. Dude, I was getting fucking smoked in here. And there ain't no goddamn continues.
Yeah, there's no continues. That was irritating.
I don't know. I didn't like that first level. I was like, I do not like. I determined in that first level, I was like, this game is pretty rough because I did not like any of the fighting. I didn't like the way these guys are coming off the screens.
Yeah.
And they
could hit you off the screen.
I feel like you were getting to a point, like in all beat 'em ups, where, like you say, your double dragons, even your final fights. I'm cool with some gimmicky guys because you can't be just fighting the same. Ironically, it was not really that much variant as far as I got in the characters. I mean, there was, but not as much as I wanted there to be.
No. Change the color of their shirt. Change the hairstyle.
It just... I don't know. It just wasn't for me.
It went from Thug 1 to Thug 2 to Henchman 1 to Henchman 2.
And I feel like you start out easy, and you get in it progressively, and I think in most beat 'em up games you get to a part where it's like, holy god, this is hard as shit.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about level 4, like you're gonna know, like on Double Dragon, after this stage is where it is slit your wrist fucking impossible, you know, or whatever. This game was like halfway through level 1, I'm like, this is pretty fucking tough right here. Enough that it's not fun for me. Now, I did watch a little bit of speedrun footage, and these dudes are way better at this game. And I like a beat 'em up as much as the next person. To say that I'm good at one, I would not. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm not a beat 'em up guy, but because I like my platformers and my beat 'em ups. But I'm not, just because I like it doesn't mean I'm necessarily good, and I'm okay with that. But I was not good at this game. I've got two of them that probably one of them would be more talking point, and then I feel like I got a good fucking point. that's outside the box. Just kind of like how the Venom got his name first. How I appreciate this. This is something I think it would have saved the fucking game, but I'll save that for last.
Okay.
So I'll bring into. I felt like we were playing a great value Spider-Man game.
Yeah.
That is the Food City brand of Spider-Man. I feel like we got a generic game that felt. Well, the bad part is not only getting a generic game. I feel like. You like you say, you had your little list of boxes here, and you start scratching them off. And then I felt like we got a shit game for. Well, I say shit game. I feel like when you put the names and the IPs behind this, that you have a higher expectation.
You do.
I probably have a higher expectation for this than I did Final Fight, just because you got fucking Spider-Man Incarnate and Venom.
Yeah, and knowing that it's supposed to be the sequel.
So I feel like we got cash grabbed.
We did.
I feel like we got a game pushed out. Of course, they're all trying to make money, but I feel like they put out a shit game compared to Maximum Carnage. Now, Maximum Carnage may suck now.
Yeah,
it's
it
been
could.
for a while. I've got it in my mind, and I may have to come back and adjust this.
Yeah,
but I feel like we got robbed. Is what we got.
Nostalgia-wise, Maximum Carnage was fucking phenomenal.
And the only thing we got that. In this game that we didn't have Maximum Carnage was...
Two player. Yeah. So, and even in that, in Maximum... just remember Maximum Carnage, the flow was a lot better. It was a lot more cohesive game, and in this one, it wasn't. So
I feel like the characters were bigger and the sprots were bigger in Maximum Carnage.
I'm trying to go.
I'm okay,
I think the sprites were more refined.
Yeah. I feel like not Carnage, but Venom when his arm was going out, it was a little bit more. I feel
it's
like
a little wonky. I think but
we got effort put into it. I feel like we got. This is like an art class when they're like, "Hey, here's a picture of an eagle," and Josh, I want you to draw this eagle, and George, I want you to draw this eagle, and Kevin or whoever over here, I want you to draw this eagle. Well, yours might look a little more like a fucking parrot. Mine might look a little more like a goddamn hummingbird. And then Kevin's looks like a fucking eagle. I feel like if you got two groups over here, and it's just because the snout was a little different, And so I feel like
yours looks more like the pigeon that guards your door.
Yes. God, that son of a bitch.
Hey, it has a baby now.
It does have the baby now.
It's now the baby's very fluffy.
Yes, and I feel like the pigeon is more territorial now, so it's more terrifying. But yeah, so I feel like if you gave everybody the same assignment and said, here, do this, and it was a little different, I feel like Maximum Carnage was probably what Kevin draw, and this is probably what my derpy ass drawed on it. I feel like this is just like a worse version of the game, but it's kind of the same game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It's you copying the essay, but changing enough to where it's not noticeable.
It's like when you don't plagiarize, and it's like, and Josh said, and it'll be like, blah, 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 says Josh. It's not plagiarizing because I changed that, right?
I changed that.
Okay. You got anything left on your heart? I'm gonna throw one out here that I think is solid gold fucking idea. I don't know. I feel like sometimes I ain't gonna say I'm the guy that says, hey, we need a good idea. George, can you be that guy? No, probably not. But I'm going to tell you how bad everybody else's idea is. I'm saying I should be an analyst and you tell me your shit and I'm going to tell you how fucked up it is. But I've got a good idea on this.
We have our moments. We wrote a Fast and Furious movie.
We did. We lost out on millions.
So, I want to hear your idea. I want to hear one.
This is simple. Okay. When you think Super Nintendo.
Okay.
And we're talking iconic cartridges.
Okay.
Name a few iconic cartridges and why they stand out in your mind. I know mine.
You got Super Mario.
Okay.
And the reason why it's just a phenomenal game. Okay. Great gameplay. It's a good two-player co-op game as well.
Well, I'm talking about the actual, I guess, the
actual cartridge?
The actual cartridge itself.
Okay.
There's only 3 or 4 that
you got the Zelda one, that's solid gold.
No, that is the N64 one. I think they're all regular Super Nintendo ones.
Oh, really? I thought... Okay. Then you got the Maximum Carnage, it's red.
Okay, it's one of the 2 red ones.
Doom is the other.
Doom is going to go in there. To me, you got the RoboCop Terminator, even though it's not necessarily cartridge, it's the case that goes around.
You said it felt like the tire.
So, Maximum Carnage. When somebody says, hey, did you ever play Super Nintendo Maximum Carnage? First thing you're going to think, hey, it's a red fucking cartridge. That stands out. I don't know that there's any. There's black ones and Killer Instinct and stuff. And that's where I go. If Maximum Carnage got a fucking red cart, couldn't Venom get a goddamn black one?
The gold was Link for the regular NES.
Oh, you're right. So if Carnage gets red, can fucking Venom not get like a black or a purple?
Yeah.
Like, give me another cartridge color for this. Like, I don't know. I feel like that would have been a great fucking idea.
Yeah, that's a missed opportunity.
I mean, then you guys, you might just start the whole thing then of every Spider-Man game is going to have its own colored fucking cartridge. But I'm like, come on. Like, the Maximum Carnage, I do think Maximum Carnage did have a gray cart too. But I think most of them were red. I'm going to look this up while we talk about this.
I know Maximum Carnage was red. Venom being black or purple would have been really cool. But how would you do Spider-Man? You'd have to do red and blue or red and white, because you couldn't copy Maximum Carnage.
You could just do a spider web.
See, I'm fine with that too.
Dude, I'll tell you. I know they wouldn't have did it now, but I can tell you the cleanest, fucking freshest Spider-Man fucking emblem ever. And this lives rent-free in my head. I'm pulling it up right here.
Oh, God.
No, it is fucking fire.
No, I'm terrified because I have the iconic Spider-Man emblem in my skull right now.
When you're sitting here and you're like, what can we put on a Spider-Man game? The original PS4 Spider-Man console. I love that fucking design.
It, but no, not on a cart. No.
But anyways, I feel like you could have made Maximum Carnage.
Yeah, if you wanted full cash grab, that would have been a perfect cash grab opportunity.
There are gray copies of Maximum Carnage. The ones I've always seen, I guess it was a special edition, was red.
I've always seen red.
I'm going to guess it's probably a second print or something like that.
I owned the red card.
There had to be more red than gray, because that's the first thing people think about is the red. But, yeah, I felt like you could have literally just probably spent another half a cent and a little bit of dye, whatever you did with the Carnage one, because that was a tough looking card.
That was a good looking
card. And it fit, and I felt like you could have did, to be honest, I felt like it was black with like a little sparkle, or like purple with like a little bit of glitter. But, you know, and Killer Instinct had a black cartridge, and that was a pretty sharp looking cartridge.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's Primal Instinct. Maybe it was both of them. I can't fucking remember. It's been 30 fucking years since then, you know. But anyways, I guess that's my last grievance, is I felt like you lost an opportunity to give me another color cartridge.
Yeah.
Is there anything left on your heart for it?
No. Like I said, that would have been amazing. I would have 100% owned that cart if it was purple.
So I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I've got a ton of speed runs. I got the price charting. And I kind of skipped on a lot of the
fun facts
because of a couple of reasons. Is give me comic book shit, give me video game shit, give me shit with the damn movies.
Yeah. And
that's okay. But then at the same time, I'm like, the biggest thing in here is it's separation anxiety. I guess that's the other part. Is you call it fucking separation anxiety, and it ain't over the separation anxiety fucking, series or arc. According to, now that I've not read them, so it's just, I'm taking that at face value. So then I'm like, why do I want to give you fun facts about separation anxiety, the comic book series, or something? Because apparently it's not the fucking same thing. So I'm like, fuck these fun facts.
Well, I mean, I get it why they call it separation anxiety.
It does make sense,
because now one of the bosses, Riot, is not Venom's brood. 100% not Venom's brood. The most dangerous color in all symbiotes is red. That's the most aggressive. That's the most evil. They're the most violent. They kill their own kind to gain their power. Type deal. Like the Highlanders.
Okay. You're talking to me now. I like me some Highlander.
Now, the others is the closer they are to red, the more dangerous they become. Venom had, I think, a total of 5 technical offsprings. And each one of Venom's technical offsprings were a shade of red, making Venom a unique symbiote.
So,
like Scream was supposed to be a yellowish red. Carnage is 100% the reddest. I think Phallage is like a burgundy color.
Who put a question mark on the teleprompter?
Yeah.
Scotch.
Yeah, and then there was Screech, which was a reverse of Scream with the color. She was more of a black-yellow, and Scream was a more yellow-black. So on and so forth. Riot was solid white. White is also the king of all symbiotes.
I'm right here. You're right here. You went too far.
I know.
You went too far.
But I see why they call it separation anxiety. I really do. Because it's him trying to stop his brood. Because his brood would literally destroy the earth.
Right.
Or mankind.
Okay. So buckle up. This is a little bit of a trip.
Okay.
So I'm just going to run through the speed runs that is possible. And of course, we're not going to do the Genesis. I was just kind of surprised at how many there was, to be honest.
On the Genesis?
No, on all of it.
Oh, all of it? Okay, I was about to say.
So you've just got the Super Nintendo, just playing the game.
Yep.
Then you got the Super Nintendo in hard mode. Apparently there's a password that you enter to put it into hard mode. Yep. So then you got Genesis, and you got Genesis in the hard mode. Then you got 2-player Super Nintendo only, 2-player Super Nintendo only hard mode, Super Nintendo Spider-Man only, Super Nintendo Spider-Man only hard mode,
and then
Genesis Spider-Man only, Genesis Spider-Man only hard mode. Like, for fuck's sake! Like, there's no Venoms. There's no Venoms. I guess
there's no Venoms.
You would think if you're getting a Spider-Man only, you're getting a Venom only, but the fuck do I know? So I'm just going to go ahead and tell you. There's a motherfucker out of Brazil that 2 years ago took fucking separation anxiety by storm. And there ain't no fucking stopping this dude.
Is he on all of them?
Pretty much. Oh no. I'm going to have to pull this up real quick because I cut one of these damn things off. I will tell you this, the only one that they are not on is the 2-player.
Okay. Dear Jesus.
Yeah, I guess he says fuck's hard is what he's doing over here. Let me pull this up real quick.
Wow.
All right. So
I want to know why there's no Venom.
Well, I'm going to guess maybe by default Venom's quicker. Like, I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Venom had more power. Spider-Man's the quickest.
Well, I mean, sometimes, like on Power Rangers, like...
You had the
Blue Ranger is the slowest. The red one, for some reason, is like a few pixels quicker, frames quicker. I don't know.
I'm still pissed off about that, by the way.
Well...
Because of the Genesis got the Green Ranger. That irritates me.
Alright. So, there's actually not a whole lot of love for this game on there, but there was 5 speed runs, and I'll go through them pretty quick. Just throw me a time of what you think a speed run. If I don't spit all over the place, a speed run is.
By what I played, I would assume about 45 minutes.
You're pretty close. So, American is number 5.
Okay.
Ninja of Sorts. They, from Missouri, 5 years ago, ran it in 53 minutes and 27 seconds.
So, by the way, I do have a formula now for speed runs.
Okay.
I figured one out.
Okay. When we finish this, you use your formula and we'll tell you if it's bullshit or not. A Brazilian 3 years ago, named Khaoe, Caho.
Caho is what I would say.
They did it in 49 minutes and 10 seconds. That's 4 minutes quicker than the other. A Canadian called Thwompz, Thwompz. That's a solid fucking name.
Well, that's the name of the Mario thing.
I know.
The good old Thwompz.
Hailing out of Nova Scotia. Did it in 48 minutes and 30 seconds. And then another out of Ontario, Canada, named Saul Hiddock-Hill. S-A-U-L, this is all one word. Capital S-A-U-L, capital H-E-D-D-O-K-H-E-E-L. Had to kill.
Yeah, Saul had to kill.
He did it in 43 minutes, 41 seconds. And this motherfucker right here out of Brazil His name is 1JOVEMTROO.
That's a bot.
I don't know. But they put in here in the comment. Real original hardware. He used the actual Super Nintendo. Real original hardware used. I'm going to be honest to say, I don't think that I can do much better than this. Had no support heroes on the last room, and most of the run I was recovering lost time. So he was behind the 8 ball the whole time. He did it 3 minutes quicker than the fucking second place person, and did it in 40 minutes and 47 seconds. That's just the regular mode.
Yeah.
Let's slip over to no stipulation, just beat the game in hard mode. There's one person completed it. Oh my god. It is the Brazilian, one Hove Metro. One J-O. I'm just going to come Jove. He says, not the best runs, but a decent start on hard mode. He's the only one that did it 2 years ago, 46 minutes and 7 seconds. He had himself a fucking weekend just doing these.
Yeah.
Okay. 2-player Super Nintendo only. There are 2 people, one from Arizona and the other one from Michigan, both Americans. VGA and 8-Bit Steve, which I think 8-Bit Steve's pretty famous.
But I think we had an 8-Bit Steve, right?
3 years ago, they did it, just 2-player, SNES only, 48 minutes, 19 seconds.
Okay.
2-player hard mode, not done. I would say we would do this, but I struggled through this fucking game.
Absolutely not.
I don't know if I could beat it with infinite lives. That's how bad I sucked at it. Okay, Super Nintendo Spidey only is Hove. Went 57 minutes, 46 seconds. Spider-Man only.
Oh, I get it. So the first mode is probably Venom only.
You would think.
Yeah.
For some reason, Venom must be quicker.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or powerful punches.
Something of that sort. There's a reason, I guess, that they separated it only to Spidey only.
Yeah.
There must be some disadvantage or some advantage.
Yeah.
So he did it in 57 minutes, 46 seconds. Spider-Man only on hard mode. He did it in 1 hour, 9 minutes, and 9 seconds. And that is it. But it's just like, holy crap.
Spidey has to be faster, but not as powerful because of the time framing. Like, it probably takes more hits to get rid of a boss henchman.
So you're sitting there thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 speed runs. You own 4 of them. One of them is a 2-player that only one person's did, so you may not have nobody that wants to play this game with you. And then you had the 2-player on hard mode that nobody has done. So, like, I feel like you pretty well own this fucking game.
Yeah.
Brazil loves Venom / Spider-Man separation anxiety.
Yeah.
I just thought it was... I flipped it up and I was not expecting to get as much speed run. I was like, well, that's almost competes for the lack of fun facts.
Yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump into... tell me your speedrun
my speedrun formula? Okay, my speedrun formula is I think of the time frame that I can complete this game.
Okay.
And then divide it by a 4th.
Fair enough.
That's all my formula is. It's a basic formula.
Well, we're going to start doing it now. We're going to see. All right. So, a loose copy of this. What do you think it goes for, Josh?
I would say probably about $18.
You're a little bit low.
A little low?
What I seen on eBay was pretty variant. It went from, I seen them selling at $20 free ship to $25 with $5 shipping. So I think it's, to me on eBay, a $20 to $30 game. Price chart says they got one sale tracked a week at $26 even. Fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough.
So that they tracking one sale per month and one sale per year on complete new. So the complete copy, how much do you think it cost?
Be $80.
That's low. Now, the one that Price Charting's tracking, I have that one. It was actually one of them on eBay. I did see one sell from Canada, complete in box. And both of these were auctions, which is strange. Most of the time, people
auctions throw me off.
A lot of people will be like, let's list it high, put best offer, and go where we want happy. So I feel like you're getting the true value of the game, but if you do it at the wrong time, over a holiday weekend, or the way your auction ends, at what time, it could affect it. The one from Canada ended at $100. That was what it was. It was actually like $70 plus like $20 shipping, or $75 and $20 shipping. So the other one was a little bit more expensive. So it sold, and what price charting has it at is $146 for a complete copy.
See, I done my math.
So you went from 26 to 146.
Yeah, I went from 20 and multiplied it by 4. That's why I said 80.
You'd have to go 5.5 or something.
Yeah.
So let's see what you do with the formula. So 146 is what we're tracking. Now, I didn't see a new one. They had graded ones, but I didn't go with that shit. But I didn't see a new one that had sold on eBay in the past 90. So what do you think a new one sells for, Joshua?
So you said it was
146
on price charting.
Yes.
What was on eBay?
There was one sold for $100 out of Canada, and the one that price charting must be tracking went at auction at 146. That was the only one that sold in America. Even though I buy shit from Canada that comes down, I don't know. I wouldn't think it would make a $50 difference, but what the fuck do I know?
Yeah, I was going to call this roughly 360.
You're low.
Okay, then my next one would have been 480.
You're pretty close. A new one is $467. Just so you know, a manual for it, according to price charting, is $11.52. A box is $66, and a graded copy, they're tracking it a value of $1,395.
Okay.
So, I don't know. I mean, the problem is, if you told me what the price of a complete one's $146, a new one's $467, I don't think that's too far fetched. Except you're telling me a loose cart's $26. That jump from loose to complete is a little bit much.
Yeah, that's a bit much to me.
So, at the end of the day, Josh, I've got a regular gray cartridge here.
Regular gray, not purple.
No, or black, or no sparkle, or no logos. Oh, dude. I can imagine a Venom or a Carnage, one that has like texture to it, almost like it.
Yeah, like the gel.
Shit's coming out of it, you know?
Yeah, like the gel. That would be cool as shit.
I got the cartridge right here, a gray separation anxiety cartridge. Now, let me show you what the cartridge looks like, I guess I should say, because I gotta pretty this up. No, that didn't work. Good thing I'm totally prepared.
Are you?
No, absolutely not. So this is the cover of the box. Or that's essentially the sticker that's on the Super Nintendo cartridge.
Okay, so Carnage, Venom, Scream, and Spotty?
Yes.
Okay.
So you got that cartridge, or you got $13 cash. Which are you taking?
I may take the card on this one. Because I collect the comic books.
I don't think, me personally, for $26, there's way better games out there. So, I think for $13, you can pick up a really good fucking game that's better than this. But just with the content, with it being Marvel, Separation Anxiety, I've never played it before this.
Yeah.
I play Maximum Carnage, and that's iconic. So I feel like to have it on my shelf, me personally, to have it on the shelf and say, hey, you like Maximum Carnage? That's the sequel to it. And people are like, oh, okay, so it's kind of more of a conversation piece.
Yeah.
Because it's, in my opinion, not as good as Maximum Carnage.
Yeah.
Working off my memory. But that's tough.
And then you tell them your theory about how it should be purple or black.
That is it. I'll be like, look at this fucking cartridge. Imagine this. Maybe I take one and take like a
just
black.
Start coloring.
Yeah, take a. Oh shit. I think I'm keeping the cartridge too.
Yeah,
but
I'm keeping it from a comic book collection standard.
I'm not spending $26 on it.
Oh, absolutely.
If you had it for $13, I don't know if I'm spending that. I'd say I give you $10 for it.
Yeah, that's me. If you had it for 13, I may say 10.
I sure as hell wouldn't pay $146 for a complete copy of it.
No.
So, here we go, Josh. We're
time to rank it.
Yes. So So we are the same. We've got Final Fight Guys number 1, Radical Rex number 2, and Speed Racer number 3. Do you want me to go ahead, or do you know where you're going to put this game? It's technically on Mount Rushmore, so
It is. I know where I'm putting it.
okay. So I think I feel like we're going to count it up. I know the number 1 is still going to be Final Fight Guy.
Yeah.
And I know the bottom one is still going to be Speed Racer.
Yep.
So the question is Separation Anxiety better than Radical Rex, or is Radical Rex better? So, do you want to do a count of 3?
Sure.
So on the count of 3, we're going to name the number 2 or 3 game. Which one do you want to do?
I was going to say the number 2 game.
Okay, on the count of 3, we're going to say the number 2 game.
All right.
1, 2, 3.
Separation Anxiety.
Yes. Radical Rex. Now, so we both going to go Final Fight Guy, Separation Anxiety, Radical Rex, and Speed Racer.
Yep.
Separation Anxiety was better than Radical Rex.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm shitting on the game a little bit because I felt like it was very lackadaisically done.
Yeah, I think even if we played this before Final Fight Guy would still be the number 1.
Absolutely. Because I felt like Separation Anxiety's fucking problem was their own damn self.
Yeah.
So,
like I said, it felt like a cash grab. It was supposed to be the sequel to Maximum Carnage, and Maximum Carnage was done, again, by memory, so well that all they added was a second player, and they failed miserably.
Well, the problem was in Final Fight Guy, the storyline was told better, quicker, more efficiently. Spotty, you tip the hat to the enemies being on screen, but you know what? Final Fight Guy's enemies was better. Their bosses was better. Tough as shit.
Granted, they did struggle with the 3-man on the screen at a time.
And at the end of the day, it's just like if Final Fight Guy was like a comic book that people beloved, that's what fucking Separation Anxiety should be. It would be like if Final Fight was a movie series as big as the Spider-Man IP, people would love that fucking game much more. But
I agree.
So we're gonna do quick predictions. So we had 2 beat 'em ups back to back. I don't know where I'm going with it, John.
I don't either. I mean, oh God. Okay. Technically, this is a combo beat 'em up and semi-platform, right? Because you can go.
I don't know. I'd call it.
I agree, but there was that stage where you got to jump in between the buildings. I don't know if you made it that far or not.
I'm still calling it a beat 'em up.
Okay,
but that's just me.
Okay.
You know?
All right. I think I know the tie-in.
Okay. What?
I think I know the tie-in.
Okay. Sell me on this tie-in.
Okay. We've done game. So we went from Speed Racer to Radical Rex, both cartoonish.
I know. I've got my own. I just came to me.
Okay.
Okay. So you're going cartoons,
and then Radical Rex went to the beat 'em up. You know, because Radical Rex you did fight some enemies. Final Fight Guy was a straight beat 'em up. Final Fight Guy goes to Venom, Spider-Man, Separation Anxiety, which is a beat 'em up game with a platformer. So I'm going to call the next one a tie-in to another superhero.
So you're predicting a superhero game.
Yeah.
In which I would think that, just to narrow that down, because I guess all games got a superhero, you're thinking more like a comic book character superhero?
Yeah, some type of comic book character, or even a second guess is a game based off of a movie or TV show.
Okay, I'm going very...
You going far left field?
I'm going very precise.
Oh.
Because I think I know what the tie-in is.
Okay.
Because each game ties in, but it seems like they don't tie in more than a few games in. So, you got Speed Racing, you got Radical Rex.
Yep.
I don't think the tie-in for that game, that has been put together yet. So then you get Final Fight Guide, and then you get Separation Anxiety.
Yep.
So the tie-in is beat 'em ups, right?
Yep.
So I'm going to go a little deeper into this. So what is one thing that we know about Separation Anxiety is the developers. Developed by Software Creations, which also had a game that we played, which is Foreman for Real.
Okay.
So I'm going to go off of that loosely. So I'm digging deep in here.
Okay.
So the
red threads are coming out.
Yes.
Okay.
And if this, I'm fucking quitting if this is right.
This could be our last episode next week.
So, all right. So the tie-in is going to be Software Creations.
Okay.
And I'm stretching because we played a game called Foreman for Real.
Yep.
So I'm not calling a sports game. We're going to play a fucking boxing game. And there's only one boxing game that comes to my mind, and it's not made by Software Creations. I'm calling Super Punch-Out.
Oh, okay.
So I'm really getting deep into
wow.
the nuts and bolts. And I think
Yeah.
Software Creations made us play two games, one that was pretty bad and one that was just okay. They're going to bring us home to a banger boxer game.
Okay. So
Think of it this way. The boxing game really sucked. Separation Anxiety was okay. So then the boxing game is going to be...
it's got to skyrocket.
So I'm calling Super Punch-Out.
Okay, well, what about your second? Are you going to have a second? Or...
I'll say any boxing game. But I want Super Punch-Out.
You want Super Punch-Out.
I think that's it.
Okay. Fair enough.
We'll draw it and see.
Let's do it.